Hello, welcome to Fascinate. My name is Kate and I'm a Brownie leader and work at the National Centre for Atmospheric Science where I'm an environmental data scientist. Today I'm joined by Hannah, who is an instrument scientist at NCAS, which is also known as the National Centre for Atmospheric Science, and works on the FAM aircraft, which is the UK's national flying laboratory, as an instrument scientist. So today we are going to go through how to grow our own rainbow. And we're going to be answering questions about rainbows and also about our jobs. So just before we get started, I just want to do a quick introduction into what is actually meteorology and atmospheric science. So meteorology looks at the weather that happens now. So that can look into forecasting the weather, and that job is named as a meteorologist. And then atmospheric science looks at the research behind it. So we look at all different conditions, different things that are happening, why they're happening, and look into any theories. And this helps us to improve our models going forwards and forecast what's happening in the future. So let's just, before we start with our activity, let's just find out about what Hannah actually does. So Hannah, what do you do as your job?
Well, I'm an instrument scientist. That means I look after some of the science instruments on board an atmospheric research aircraft. It's a big aircraft that's got 4 jet engines, and if you put all the seats back in, it would seat 100 people. But we've taken all the seats out, and we've got lots of different bits of science kit inside that make measurements of all sorts of things to do with the atmosphere as we fly along. My job is to look after some of those instruments and make sure they work, make sure they're calibrated, make them better, and make sure they produce good data for the people that use our aircraft.
Great. And I'm actually get your data from your aircraft and I store that into a great big computer called Jasmine. So we work closely together with the aircraft too. So do you have a photo of your aircraft actually by any chance with you?
I do, by chance. I have one here.
Very good. So this is
it.
There we go. That's a photo of the actual aircraft. So as you can see, it's a normal aircraft, but it's got different adaptations onto it, hasn't it, as well?
Yeah, you can just about see some science instruments hanging off the wing there. They measure clouds.
Great. Very cool. And I've actually happened to go on a few flights, which have been really cool. Okay, so for this activity today, you'll need some kitchen roll. So just one piece will do. Some pens are colours of the rainbow. And if you can remember what the colours are, that would be great. We'll go through them. And you'll also need some cups with some water. And I've got just 2 glasses here. And I've put about half full, but it doesn't matter exactly like that. And I can see Hannah's just pouring hers out. I'm going to put mine to the side away from my laptop, which is why it's over there, so it doesn't go spill. So just everybody else, just warning, just make sure you keep the water away from your laptops. Okay, so to start off with, I need to get your kitchen piece of paper and we need to fold it when dropped on the floor and fold it in half, so like that. So we have one sheet. Great, like that. And then the next job is that we need to colour on the sides the colours of the rainbow. And I've just got an example here, which I've done. So we're going to go through the colours of the rainbow, and hopefully, as you guessed right, the colours go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. And either side, you need to have these colours going down. Try and make them as equal as you can, but it doesn't matter. But you need to leave a nice white gap in between. And this is where our magic of our growing will happen. So while we're doing this, we're colouring ours in, I'm just going to say what an actual rainbow is. So a rainbow is an arc-shaped spectrum of light, which is created by refraction and reflection. So the rainbows are caused when rays of light from the sun hit water droplets, which are reflected and some of the light back towards an observer. So the water droplets are usually rain droplets, but this could also be spray from a waterfall or fountain or even fog. And to see your rainbow, you must have the sunlight shining behind you and the water droplets in front of you. So you mainly see a rainbow when part of the sky, if you look up, is where the sun is shining, and the other side is where it's raining. And then you'll eventually a rainbow will appear. I actually saw a rainbow the other day, which was quite nice. We had a nice, where part of the sky was clear and then the other side we had rain. So how are we getting on with our colouring?
I've done my red and orange. I have to confess, I don't have a yellow pen.
That's
So I'm going to
fine.
have to go straight for green.
That's fine. And everybody else, we don't have all the colours, you just do your own colours. And the same just technique applies. So a question that I can look at is, can rainbows appear in random places? And the answer is sort of, but they would appear at a certain, between a certain angle. I won't go into much detail now, but they'll appear in many different places, but only if you have the sun and the rain at the same time. The colours of a rainbow follow the light spectrum. And so actually many other colours do appear in the rainbow, but we, with our own eyes, only see certain colours. Right. Let's see how we get in there.
Are you doing one, Kate, or have you got one pre-prepared?
I am doing one, so I'm almost there now with mine. I had one pre-prepared and I'm currently colouring one in with my colours.
I'm just about to start my last colour.
Very good. And one question the rainbows might be asking us, is there a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Oh, and of course, the idea is that you can never reach the end of the rainbow. And since you'll never get there to check, the hunt can be still on. So unfortunately, rainbows, there is no pot of gold at the end, but always try and look for one, which will be good. Right, I managed to finish mine off now.
Yeah, I am done too. Oh,
very good. There we go. So now we need our water. So I'm just going to bring mine in front of me. And this make sure you don't spill any. And the idea is now that we need to bend the kitchen roll and have the two ends go into the water. Then our kitchen roll will soak up the water and we'll watch the magic happen. Right, so I'm going to put mine in. We'll need them a bit closer together. You just want it so the ends will go in and you'll see it absorb. And you should, as the water goes up, you should see it start to creep up. Oh yeah, you can see Hannah's there. I can't move my camera, but yes, very good. And hopefully you should see the water rising through.
it is doing it.
It is doing it, and eventually we'll see what happens. So as we're just watching our rainbows grow, just have a few questions for Hannah. So what is your favourite part of your job, Hannah?
Oh, that's tricky. There's lots of really good parts of my job. It's really varied. Sometimes I work at a desk doing computer coding, and sometimes I work in the lab looking after instruments. Sometimes I work on the aircraft in the hangar, so I sort of fit the instruments to the aircraft, and then sometimes I go flying. And some of the flying we do involves traveling abroad to lots and lots of different places. So we've been to Alaska and India and Uganda and where else? Ascension Island. That was really good. But I think my favourite detachment was to Stornoway in the Outer Hebrides. It was the most beautiful scenery, I think, out of all the detachments we've been on. Even Iceland, I don't think was as good as Stornoway. Really nice beaches, and we got to fly over St Kilda as well, so we saw some amazing sights. And of course, we did some very good science, and we collected lots of really interesting data for the scientists that use the aircraft.
Yeah, I was lucky to be on those flights as well. I was up on placement at that time with guys, and yeah, it was really good. Great. And so what does a typical day look like for you? Oh, it can be very varied. So
Yeah, a different thing every day. I'll just move up so you can just see my face. Yeah, so it's really varied. It depends what needs doing. So this week I've been into the labs for two days to work on one of our instruments that measures humidity. It's called a hygrometer, and it measures how much water vapor there is in the air. So you know when the humidity is high because it feels sort of muggy and sticky outside, and you know when it's low, it feels dry outside. So we have an instrument, several actually, that measure the humidity, and it sits right at the front of the aircraft under the nose. And it needed a calibration this week. So that means I took it off the aircraft and compared it with a really, really good instrument in the lab that makes a really good measurement to make sure that it also measures the same thing when it's shown the same gas. So that was what I did yesterday and the day before yesterday. And I'll do more of it tomorrow. But today, I've been sitting doing some coding on my computer in my back garden, actually, because it's sunny. And I've been looking at temperature data. So it really varies. And at the moment, we're mostly working from home, only going into work when we've got stuff in the labs. But usually I do all of that at Cranfield in our offices there.
very good. Yeah, so my day at the moment is working from home and currently getting in data from several different projects currently, and making that available for other people to use. So yes, that's great. Okay, how's yours getting on? Mine's nearly coming towards together. Is yours getting towards together?
It's making slow progress.
Slow progress.
You can just about see there. It's coming,
It's
just
coming.
just slowly.
Yep, I'll show mine in a bit. Okay, so one other question is, what advice do you have for somebody wanting to go into a science background or area?
Ooh. I would say not to worry if you don't know which specific bit of science that you want to do, because there's a lot of subjects that you can study at GCSE and A level and then at university that are really quite broad subjects that won't stop you going into any specialisms that you could study, and that they'd set you up really well, but you wouldn't have to specialize too soon before you're absolutely certain on what you want to do. So don't worry if I don't know, if you want to be an atmospheric scientist and so you're looking for an atmospheric science degree to do, for example. I would say you probably don't need to worry about that at that stage. I did a physics degree. People I work with did maths and chemistry, and then they specialize later on. So it keeps lots of doors open for you if you study quite a broad subject early on.
Yeah, great advice. Really good. Right, so here's mine. I'm going to lift it up, hopefully. As you can see, it's just about touched. The red colours have just about touched. Got the other colours to go, but it's getting there. And you can see the rainbow forming.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yes. So great. So it definitely works at home if you've got different pens. Try and use water-based pens where you can, because they will definitely spread as well. And this technique is actually also named as chromatography, and this technique is used to identify different gases in the atmosphere as well, which is very cool. Right, it's touched a bit more now. The colours are leaking into each other, which is great. And I can see Hannah's has moved as well.
Yeah, my red is the fastest as well.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Well, I thought it might be because I did more of the colour of red up the top, but obviously not then if yours is the same.
Well, I don't know, because maybe you started with red and I started with red. And like when you first get going, you're a bit more enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So you do a bit more on the red, and then by the time you get to the blue, you've sort of run out of time or whatever.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so here's mine, pretty much almost finished. So at home, you can make sure you watch your rainbows grow and enjoy taking time. And next time when you see the sun shining and also rain happening at the same time, make sure you look out for a rainbow, because one will appear. Okay, great. Thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll all see you soon. Bye.
Bye.